Well, I just thought of
Hello.
a topic. Hang on, hang on. Uh,
Making a notes.
yeah, making my notes.
Every time I go to your page of Facebook to like get the start to go on, I always look at your forget about your descriptor. Middle-aged homosexual influencer, dad, husband, blogger, biz owner, wannabe comedian / Martha Stewart.
That's who I am.
I'm like, well, alrighty then.
While we're waiting on folks to join, Cooped Up is my website. Kerrie does not have one. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all the social places. I'd love a follow on Instagram. Kerrie's is at Food Sparks rather. There it is.
That's me.
Whenever you watch or listen to this, be sure you click the bell to get notified when we come live. So, I swear this platform lately, they keep making improvements.
Yeah, right.
Improvements to
Improvements no one wants.
No, it's stuff that people want, but it causes everything to move around. So then borderline boomer Cooper is like, well, where's the damn button for the chat? Where's the this? Like, I just can't figure
Who
out.
made my cheese? Get off my grass.
Get off my grass. I can't figure out where stuff is anymore. I'm like, I got to call my children. Where do I find this? What do I do with that? Yes. So all for the sake of making it better.
Where's your mama? I don't see her yet.
I don't know. I had to today at work. So I have to remind my employees occasionally that it's a hate crime to let me know that their parents are about the same age as me. Like that's
a hate crime.
That is
ageism.
That is a fireable offense. Hey, Mama, that's a fireable offense. But today we were talking about we were talking about Rush because there's a lot of stuff about sorority rush, mostly sorority rush, not fraternities rush too, but no one talks about that. But sorority rush before college starts and all that.
Yes, let's talk. I forgot that is a great thing to talk about. The Bama rush stuff.
And all of that. And so I was talking about how interesting it is because SMU, for example, has deferred rush. So you can't rush until January of your freshman year.
That really?
You rush, yes.
Is that so you focus on your school studies instead of all that shit?
Or just establishing who you are, getting to know the people who live on your floor, because SMU requires you to live on campus for the first 2 years, all of that, right? And so like it forces you to focus on your broader college experience, and Baylor does this as well. I think a couple of other colleges do too. For the most part, most don't. But it's so weird to me because like I have friends. I just saw a friend who's dropped her daughter off in Fayetteville, Arkansas to go to the University of Arkansas.
U of A, Razorbacks.
And she was already like, Delta Gamma. She's a Delta Gamma. She hadn't even taken a minute of coursework yet, but she's already a Delta Gamma. Like that is so, and I'm not criticizing it, so to speak. It's just such a different, like I'm very grateful for the way SMU does it because it allows you to kind of establish friendships maybe outside of the Greek system, all of that. Yeah. But
I haven't been on. Have you been talking about all the Bama Rush stuff?
No, I can't get over the accents. Like for me,
I can't get over the spray tans to the point where like they look like blackface.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And the blondes, not a single person of color, and the whole house and the whole pledges. But I was obsessed because of the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was obsessed because of the transgender guy though, who was super cute. What was his name? Blaine? No. Blair? I can't remember his name. Adorable. And he rushed and they didn't freaking choose him. And I was like thinking, what are you doing? And then major media and press, right? And he basically took all the posts down off of his Instagram while I was like up there watching him, like things just started disappearing and deleting. I was like,
really?
Mm-hmm. But he's so cute and he like put his outfits together every day, did the whole thing. Here's what we're doing today.
Well, no, I'm confused. Is this person a she?
A man. Transgender, yeah.
From a woman?
Well, they were calling him trans, but I think he's just a cross-dresser, to be honest. He's a beautiful man, a gay man that was dressing as, a sorority girl and living his life in that way.
But
in the media they referred to him as trans, so maybe at some point he did come out and identify as that. I'm not sure.
So it should be she then.
Well, actually he went I think he went by the pronouns she, I think. I'm not sure. I only watched a few of the videos, but yeah, probably
I'm
she.
deeply invested, but I don't know this.
Yeah. Anyway, adorable. She had on the skirts,
Yeah.
makeup. She kind of looked like James. Which James, the makeup kid that was CoverGirl's
James
first.
Charles. Yeah.
James Charles.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like James Charles. Adorable, beautiful hair, coiffed
Yeah.
hair, and I'm telling you, just killing it. And then the day comes, and like the whole TikTok's invested, right? Like,
But why would you do that?
Blaine, is that the name? Is Blair?
Alabama?
Is Blair
Why
gonna
would you
make
do
it for
that?
Bama Rush?
Why would you do that in Alabama? Like, I just.
I don't know if they were the first or what, but I didn't do enough research, but I was thinking, Alabama, are you stupid? Just I'm like, really? And I was talking to this past weekend and telling the story, and somebody was like, well, we can't assume. Maybe they didn't have the qualifications to meet what they were looking for. And I'm like, really?
Well, actually, you know what though?
Really?
I mean, we say, oh, what terrible PR for them that they didn't take Blair. Blair? They
I
didn't
think I'd have to go look.
But the reality is there's probably equal or more people in Alabama who are like, damn
Oh,
straight didn't take them, standing up to the woke culture, you know, like
oh, totally.
there's more people celebrating it probably than like, oh. So
Let me
I don't know.
see. Grant Sykes,
Sometimes
Bama Rush TikTok star.
I
Non-binary is what they
okay.
identify
Sometimes I
as.
think you need to pick where you fight though. Also, like the battlefield is as important as the battle in many cases. You know, which sorority is it?
Here's an article that said Alabama student dropped by every sorority during Rush. See, that's not cool though.
Yeah.
20 sororities.
Michelle was referenced by Chi Theta, and Pi Phi. Or it even had a course schedule. University of Arizona is so crazy. Pi Phi, yes. So we were talking about it. So, you know, I applied to SMU, TCU, Texas Tech, only because it has a really good PR program, but otherwise, and American University in Washington, D.C. And the way I learned that, obviously I picked SMU, but the way I learned that I got accepted to Texas Tech was that I got a Rush guide in the mail before I even got my acceptance letter.
Really? Yeah. That's funny. I just posted an article. Leslie, it sounds like 20 of them they applied to. Adorable. And I'm like, Alabama's stupid. Like
I know, but again, pick your battles. Like, because right now, so now I'm seeing a bunch of conservative people who are like, so this is where the pronoun thing goes off the rails. There's now a person who identifies as a cat and doesn't want to have to talk at school. And yes, that supposedly has happened. I haven't seen the details, but it was probably with one person in the entire world. And it was probably at like a super like hippy dippy arts program or something, you know, and who knows, it could be performance art for all we know. It just, I'm like, oh, you can't.
Well, Grant was very, very, he never was like, got snooty or anything like that. Just, you know, what I thought was very cordial and never said anything one way or the other, right? So like when the TikTok came up and all the media and stuff started talking about it, there was a post they put up to kind of, you know, sitting there like, ooh, I don't know, you know, making a face.
Yeah.
But then ended up taking that down. So I was like, oh, I wonder if they're getting pressure from the local.
I bet also just taking the higher road and all of that kind of stuff.
I think that's what they decided to do. Because
I will say, my trans friends are like the nicest people on the planet. Also, they are so much more concerned about how others feel than how they feel. Like they are so worried about inconveniencing someone, making someone uncomfortable. Like they are not taking up enough air in the room. And that's what I'm always like, just take up more. But, you know, we're not in that situation. Suzanne is saying the reason Alabama is the most cutthroat and brutal rush in the country.
Yeah, just go to TikTok and do hashtag Bama Rush.
Like, I know, I saw part of it. People were like,
go down a spiral that you're like, no way this shit exists.
I don't want to. I don't need that.
It's just unreal. It's unreal. You're like, what?
You know, similar topic. While we're on the topic of that, the shit going down in like the Fort Worth suburbs right now Keller, Southlake, Colleyville. Those, by the way, if you're not from Dallas Fort Worth, those all touch each other. They all share, and I think all three of them touch each other actually. And they
in the most conservative way possible, they touch each other.
Well, probably in the dirtiest way behind the scenes, because these people are obsessed with sex, obsessed with gays, obsessed with trans. I mean, literally obsessed to the point where I'm like, are you okay? Is this a fetish? Are you okay? Like, you're way too worried about this. Like, is the call coming from inside the house? Like,
like that video you sent me the other night of that guy that got up, and it was like he was Ric Flair with WWE, and he was like, "Wah!" Like got up to
and then at the end, there was this TikTok that someone posted of this guy giving a speech at, I think it was Colleyville. It was either Colleyville or Keller, this school board meeting. Guy in this oversized T-shirt gets up and he's like, "Hey,
big old Bubba,
yeah, Bubba," but he's overplaying it, and he's like, "And if you try to do that, I'm gonna come for you, and I'm gonna come on your back, and on your neck, and on your butt, and on your blah blah blah, in front of the school board and families." He's saying this, and then I'm gonna, and then and I'm like,
it was weird.
I know.
And he managed to basically, in that short amount of time, talk shit about every single trending issue that's going on right now.
And then talking about coming all over everybody. Like,
but he was in the wrong sense, but it was funny.
No, he said it in the wrong sense at first, and then he tried to make a joke, and he made it sexual intentionally. Like, I just
so weird.
Just like but I'm just like, that is. And now at least some people are fighting back because one of the policies is about books and about what books are appropriate and what books are not, and all of that kind of stuff. And then it's like the book can't have sexual content, it can't have like incest, it can't have blah 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 blah. And some of the people are fighting back. They're like, okay, well then we need to take the Bible out of the school. The Bible has some terrible stories in it. Yeah. And then people are like,
but God forbid.
And then. Yeah. But a lot of people, I see a lot of my out-of-state friends who are like, "Ugh, I don't know how you live in Texas. Texas is so terrible." But I'm like, these people are everywhere.
Or we just have a concentration of them in a large amount because we're a larger state.
Yes. Yeah. And it plays into the stereotype, right? Because look at California. California, arguably the most liberal state in the country. It's only liberal in LA. Like, Orange County's not liberal. It's only LA and San Francisco. They're major population centers, maybe Sacramento, but all the rest of it is super red, right? And
because of money. Follow the money.
And Texas is too. Texas is Dallas. Fort Worth technically did not go for Trump, but it was like by like a razor's, like a hair. Austin, obviously, San Antonio, Houston, and only the center parts, right? So, and Monica's saying, I thought they did remove it. So they removed, their policy is that any book that was protested, they have to remove it for a secondary review. All of the books went through a review already. And then, so if anyone protests one of the so they protested the graphic novel version of The Diary of Anne Frank, right? Not the Diary of Anne Frank, the reading one, but the graphic novel one. I don't know what was different about it or not, but in Diary of Anne Frank, doesn't she talk about masturbation or something? It's been forever since I read it. I think there is some sort of like tickling the ivories part of it or something. I don't know. Like and I'm not talking about pianos, but but anyway, so there is, I don't remember. I could be completely wrong on it.
I mean, surely not. Wasn't she holed up in there with her family the whole time? Gross.
I mean, teens got to do what a teen's got to do. But so their policy was any book that is protested again immediately comes out of circulation and gets re-reviewed. And it takes like 45 days or something like that. And so yes, the Bible is technically out of the school at the moment. We had a kid try to check out I Love Boobies. My sister works for a school, by the way. We tried to check out I Love Boobies. He would have been disappointed because it was about the bird, the booby bird, like the.
So when you're talking about this with your sister, it made me think of a flashback to high school for a minute. Because we're about the same age. So when I was in high school between 91 and 95, I remember.
Are you born in 77? You born in 77?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Monica are almost identical age. Monica's February 22nd, 77.
Yep. So I remember at that time, somewhere in that time, I don't remember if I was a junior or senior, was when we removed prayer from school. And I remember what a huge thing that was. I'm sure it still is in especially small towns and red states. But I look back now and think, oh my God, we were subjecting all these kids to a prayer in school. It's fucking ridiculous. But at the time,
I know that we prayed in school. I don't
well,
remember.
you would have to get up and do the Pledge of Allegiance and do a prayer. We pray at football games. And I remember when they cut it out and everybody lost their minds.
I do remember praying at football games, and I remember praying at like graduation and stuff like that. In the morning, we did the U.S. pledge and we did the Texas pledge, though, in the morning.
Yeah. We did U.S. and Oklahoma.
Does Oklahoma?
Grade school, we didn't do it in high school.
Oklahoma has a pledge also? I just thought that was some weird thing Texas had.
No, I don't know if we have a pledge or we had was there a song? Something.
Oh, Oklahoma with a wind comes whipping down the plains.
Sweeping down the plains.
You sing that every day.
Or the Boomer Sooner song.
Yes.
But no, I remember, in high school, I didn't really have that much of opinion other than the influence in the small town was like, this is anarchy. This is the devil, and now I look back and I'm like, oh my God, we didn't have that much diversity at my school, but now you could not go back to my school and force everyone to follow a religion or something, or something idyllic like that. No, forget about it.
When we were at my grandfather's funeral last July, at the end of the funeral service, everyone started saying the Lord's Prayer, the Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Right? Yeah. We're there and we're all reciting it. Well, my children, because we're not big churchgoers, and if we go to Methodist church, and we go like maybe 2 or 3 times a year at that, if even that. And Methodist is like the lightest of light. We'll go to like a special, like a Christmas service or some sort of something like family service.
Church light.
Yeah, totally. And so at my grandfather's funeral, we start saying the Lord's Prayer. Both Claire and Mason are like,
why is everyone saying this? Like, we feel left out.
Well, no, they were like, first of all, when we got done with it, I think it was Claire, she goes, were we supposed to know that?
And then you thought about it, you're like, oh shit.
And then Mason is kind of like, how do all of you know that? Like how, like to that, because it sounds like a chant. Like it's not even, because when everyone in a group says it together, it doesn't sound like a prayer. It sounds like a chant. Or
I didn't learn that in church. I learned that at school first.
Really? So I learned it in home, actually, because my dad's second wife was super religiously Catholic, and we lived with them. And so we went, this is why I always say that I was raised in the Catholic Church. I'm not technically Catholic, but my entire church-going upbringing was in the Catholic Church.
A lot of mine was, because my friend Kelly's Catholic, and I preferred to go with her because we were in and out in 45 minutes.
Oh, not us. We were Roman Catholic, like it was a long service.
They did the short service.
Lots of calisthenics going on. Stand up, sit down, stand up, kneel, stand up, kneel.
But I mean, you had the book and you kind of were done, the 45 minutes, and you're like,
but the part of but when you learn it, like we learned it at because when you live in Hallettsville, Texas is a largely Czech and German community down to the coast. It's north of Victoria. And that's where we lived at the time. And it is everyone has a name like Bohuslav and Schaefer and Koplacek and a lot of these Czech names. And so they're constant festivals, constant family dinners, and they always said the Lord's Prayer before everything. And there was none of this bullshit like, dear Lord, I'm just asking, I'm just, like all these fellowship church people now, they try to pray and it's just, I'm just, Lord, I'm just, and I'm like, okay.
The prayer circles.
Give me a prescription instead. Like let's all chant the same thing. Like I'm good with that. And I know how long it's gonna last. All of that. But I didn't. It sounds so chanty, and I never realized until that moment that the kids did not know it.
That must have been so weird when you were saying it. I was like, "Oh my god, that's like a realization moment." They didn't grow up with that.
They were just both of them were like literally looking like are we about to go to like are our souls being set? Like it was like a movie where they were living an alternate, like they were living amongst with aliens, and then suddenly we all like in this ceremony show ourselves, and they were like, we're different. Like it was so weird to them. Like it, and like looking back on it, it was hilarious, but at the same time, it was like, oh my gosh, how weird is that?
Yeah, you're like, and then you feel like,
yeah.
Am I heathen that my children don't know that? Wait, what? I'm questioning everything I've ever known.
Tell the story of Mason and praying at the mission. I don't remember that story, Monica. What's the story? Either put a memory jog in the comments or text it to me.
I'm shocked when people don't know the Serenity Prayer by heart. That is the one thing I will say over and over. I don't hardly ever do any of the others.
So that is like my mantra for life. That is also the Alcoholics Anonymous mantra.
True.
Yes. So anyway, we did at the beginning of that when we started, there was a thing that I realized that we did that I just read about. There's a thing called the boomer pause. Have you heard about this?
No.
The kids these days are calling it a boomer pause or something similar to that. And it's basically when you start a video and then you wait a second to make sure it is on. It's that like pregnant pause at the beginning of any video where you go, hey, like, there's a wait. That is like a telltale sign that the person is old in the youngsters' minds these days, because they want it to start like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And so
or they're just busy doing something while they turn it on. I mean, that happens all the time on Instagram Lives. It's like they just hit go and then they're doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And they don't even stop to acknowledge.
Or even if you're taping it, like I have friends, since I've learned about it, I've noticed on friends' posts that they're just kind of frozen at the beginning of it, like they're waiting.
You do that. I like what was it you were recording, and I was like, oh, it's got a beat.
I do it. I made a beat.
You do it, yeah.
You make sure the sound is on to make sure it's kicked in, all of that kind of stuff. Yes.
I don't. I just am like, boop, right up, go after it.
We did it at the beginning of this. I was like, oh, hey, how y'all doing? Yes.
That's funny.
It's like going to an A&M game, praying. I still don't know what you're talking about, Monica.
Maybe she means all the pomp and circumstance.
No, I don't know. He asked what the kneeling thing was for. We told him to pray, but he put his hands together, closed his eyes, and recited the pledge.
Like in Bethany and National Lampoons, I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America.
Yes.
Play ball!
That's so funny. Yes, so our kids are heathens. Although, funny enough, Claire, this morning, while we were having breakfast, she goes, I had a dream last night that God was a lesbian.
Well, that's a hell of a thing to fall out of her mouth at breakfast.
I know. I was like... And
what a vivid dream. And what did God look like? I have so many questions for her.
A woman, for sure. But yeah, God was a lesbian in Claire's dream last night. But I was just like, she's the one that I either think she is going to be an atheist, a pastor, or a cult leader. One of the three. Like something like deeply either spiritual or questioning of spirituality.
And see, I think she's going to be like a Santa Fe hippie.
Yeah.
She's going to grow up to be an old Santa Fe hippie lady.
I don't know. She's starting to get into, like, she owns more earrings than I think any other human on the planet. I feel like every time we go somewhere, she's like, can I buy some earrings? So she has a million of them.
Lesbians in the jewelry. I'm just saying.
She's currently wearing crosses. And I was like, why are you wearing those T's on your ears? She's like, crosses. She got them at Target. It came in a kit, and she likes
the cross necklaces and shit are back. It's the whole thing.
I saw today that the side part is coming back. Kris Kardashian or Kim Kardashian is championing the side part.
Listen, that shit never went out. Same thing as skinny pants or skinny legs. No.
Yeah.
Their shit isn't going to last forever, a boot cut.
No one looks good in it. Unless you were this big, you do not look good in boot cut. Everyone looks good in a thin, skinny pant. I mean, sometimes I look a little pop, like lollipop-ish, but still, like there's a fine line. Like I do know some grown ass people who take the skinny jean a little too far. Like they go to the skinny.
Ridiculous. Like the straight leg pant is back, like the Levi's. I'm like, okay, but it's so weird now to have all that. I bought one pair during COVID of just regular. They're still skinny jeans, but they go all the way down past my ankle and they stack a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so weird to have all this material at the end of my ankle. It's bizarre.
I put on a pair of my old slacks not too long ago. And I was like, why am I swimming? What's all this like billow? Like it's like I'm wearing a parachute. Like what?
What is this
fabric? Too much fabric.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with jeans anymore.
The kids these days, have you heard of the Be Real app?
No, you would mention this to me, and I don't know what this is.
Yeah, so this is the new app that all the kids are on, Kerrie, Miss FOMO. I can't believe I'm the one notifying you about this.
No,
so there's
how do you spell it? I'm gonna look it up.
Be Real, BE space REAL, Be Real app, and effectively it is a social network, and it's all the rage with the kids these days. Is
from France
that you basically have like this. It's sort of like a WhatsApp meets Instagram stories, but basically it is. You get within your friends group. You get like this notice, like, let us see what you're doing right now, and everyone then has to make it, or if you're able to, you make a video of what you're doing at that moment, and then everyone.
Snapchat.
Sort of, I guess. I don't know. I've never been on Snap, so I don't know how it works. But
You've never been on Snap?
No, I totally skip Snap. Basically, it has to be like at a rocket's pace up on the charts before I even hit it. I've got a pretty high line before I'm gonna even like if it's bouncing here in popularity, it's got to be like boom. It's got to hit the ceiling before I am.
Yeah, there's a lot of articles in the past 3 days, week of The Verge, New York Times, The Guardian, CNET.
On what? Be Real?
Be Real, yeah. Captures our nostalgia for a time when social media was boring. The app can't make people be authentic online, but it can remind us of an era when being online felt very different. Oh, well, so this interests me now.
Yeah, and so basically you're supposed to take a snapshot of like what you're doing at that moment.
Oh,
so it's not curated. It's not like finding the perfect spot to stand in front of, and
it's just in the moment.
It's in the moment.
It says every day, 20 of my friends and I are supposed to post a picture at the same time. Really, it's 2 pictures taken simultaneously. One is a selfie, our faces angled toward the camera. The other shows whatever is in front of us. Oh, that's why Instagram launched the new picture-in-picture on their stories and lives. That's why. It's supposed to be what you look like while you're doing what you're doing.
What you're looking at,
yes. Okay.
So it's like that. And so I think it is, I actually like the idea a lot.
It's cool.
I think, part of me, I'm like, it's a whole bunch of boring also, because like, I'm worried that people are going to do it while driving. I always do that. But
I've seen people do it while walking.
Yeah.
Walking their dog, and they show their dog in the forward shot.
Yes. I didn't
also,
know
you've got to have a cell phone that has 2 cameras, let you use them simultaneously like that too.
Like the front and the back, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm like, but it's, I mean, they're always coming up with something new, aren't they? Kerrie put an article about it. Be Real app.
In one, I might see a friend's face in miniature overlaid onto a photo of her laptop on which I can see her trading Slack messages with colleagues, none of whose names I know, about a situation that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And there is something, I am not one of those people that gets jealous of other people's like wonderful situations. Like if I'm looking at it, I'm like, great. Oh my gosh, that vacation looks wonderful. But I don't think to myself, well, why don't I take vacations like that? But I know I'm in the minority.
Oh, I do that all the time when I see people post stuff. I'm like, why am I not there? I need to get my shit together and be in Greece.
I know, but it doesn't play on your self-esteem like it does a lot of people's, right?
No, yeah.
A lot of people,
It's not a why haven't I? It's not a pity thing. It's a I want
yeah,
to do that.
but for a lot of people it is, right?
Yeah.
Social media makes them feel bad about themselves. Like they feel worse about themselves after being on social because they see lives that are supposedly so much better than themselves.
They're unrealistic, yeah.
I on the other hand, am like, well, I'm so glad I have friends that can do all these wonderful things and all of that kind. So
or you just live it through vicariously, you know.
Yeah,
exactly. My friend Janine has posted a meme. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but I feel the same way. It's like, yes, I want you to post all those pictures to your story because I want to be there too.
Yes, exactly.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah, and so I exactly, right? And so for me, I actually like the glamour of a lot of the Instagram stuff, as long as it doesn't get too fake. I will tell you, when Monica and I were at Disney earlier this year, Monica, can you believe that was only 6 months ago, by the way, or 7 months ago? Feels like forever ago. But we were at Disney. The number of influencers that are ruining the experience, though, because they're clogging up everything, trying to do all of their little poses, and every one of them doing the exact same. Every one of them doing the holding the hand behind them pose, or the holding the Dole Whip and getting the shot just right pose. And
and this comes down to the crux. I think the last time I was on, it's been a month now, the conversation we had about the differences in generations. And if I'm going to have an old lady gripe, my biggest gripe about the current generation is spatial awareness. They have none. They weren't born with it. They didn't learn it. They have none because everything is going on around them constantly all the time. So they just find their little world, carve it out, and do it. They don't care what's going on around them. Drives me crazy.
At the same time, I kind of wish I had the ability to
not give a shit.
Not give a shit. Like I see some of them doing these TikTok dances or whatever,
and I'm like, I wish I wouldn't give a shit.
I was like, I wish I were brave enough to just do a fucking TikTok dance in the street.
I wish I were brave enough to run out in the middle of an intersection and hold up traffic. You know, then that's the part that I'm like, girl, come on.
I wish I were brave enough to be inconsiderate to everyone around me. Like, yes.
And the girls in Trader Joe's on a Sunday almost can't go on a Sunday anymore. Certainly not Uptown. I go to the Lover's Lane one, and I have been for the last 6 months because I just can't stand the Uptownies anymore. But they're on their FaceTime talking to their roommate about which groceries. I'm like, go pick the bitch up and come to the grocery store together. Or just buy the shit and she'll eat it.
Why is it so loud also?
Everything. Like no headphones. I'm like, spatial awareness. I don't need to hear your conversation. I don't need to see your TikTok dance. I don't need to see what you're posting. That's why I love the account, Influencers in the Wild.
Yes.
I have sent shit to that account before.
I love it.
Love it.
Guy Haynes is saying people just weren't born with respect. I know.
Well, so I was saying this the other day. In their defense, these kids were born basically with an iPhone in their hand. They weren't
in a storm, right?
They weren't born with at the same very slow, what I'm going to call slow, even though we came up in the 80s and that was a very technologically advanced era. It is nothing like today where everything happens on a screen. So they're used to this, the world going by them and learning to tune it out because they've done everything on a screen since they were born. So you can't really fault them. You as a parent need to set some boundaries, but you can't fault them when there's not a parent or guardian that doesn't set boundaries.
Yeah. Just that the whole thing.
In the elevator. Karen, I know. I'm an old lady on that too. I'm like, you get on the fucking elevator, you give your polite nods to people, and you ride in silence all the way unless someone strikes up a conversation about the weather.
Walking on the phone in the bathroom.
The bathroom, Tawana just said it.
I am.
I've been in the stall and I'm like, what?
Do you know what I do? I intentionally make large fart noises with my mouth.
I can't believe you do that.
I do. Like, as long as I'm not immediately next to them so they know it's coming from somewhere.
It's the spatial awareness. They don't care where they are.
I will flush like 5 times just to make sure it's like, yes, this is a bathroom.
Or flush the toilet, reach back, keep flushing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, exactly.
But they don't care. And they're talking to other people who don't care if they're in the bathroom, you know. I'm just like, I'll never forget when I was on the phone with somebody and they just started peeing. I'm like, are you peeing?
I know.
They're like, yeah.
I have done it. I will like sit down to pee and I will like hide it under like any possibility. So
mute, you know.
Yeah. Tawana was just at Red Rocks.
Nice.
Were you the only black person there, Tawana? Because I will tell you, I joke about this. I think that is on the bucket list for every middle-aged suburban white person I know, is to go to Red Rocks.
Speaking of that topic, I just came across a TikTok account. I just jumped into it long enough to figure out what the crux, but it was this girl who's intent on seeing Harry Styles all 15 performances of his Madison Square Garden thing. And she travels everywhere for concerts, and her whole thing is she wants to bring more awareness to women of color being at quote unquote white concerts.
Yes.
So people are giving her tickets with like really cool seats to go, and she's young. She's really young. Some of them she pays for, some of them are given to her.
That's funny.
And she rocks up to these concerts with her friends, and she's like wanting to create a presence of Black girls going to these historically or quote unquote white concerts.
Or at least Black girl going.
Yeah.
Funny enough, you say that about Harry Styles. So Eric texted me earlier, and he's like, "Hey, if Harry Styles is coming, we'd like to go. I want to take my niece. Blah blah blah." That
I'll go see him. I like him.
And then I was like, "Well, he came through Dallas right before anyone older knew who he was. Like we knew him, but before we all fell in love with him, he was already here in Dallas in like 2021. No, 2020 maybe. No, 21 I think it was. But the just before all of that, and I remember seeing in hindsight people who went there with their kids and stuff to it. But I looked at that schedule and I was like, 15 Madison Square Garden shows, and then he's doing like 10 in LA, and then he's doing a few in Chicago, and then he's going away. He's going to Mexico, and then that's the end of the tour.
Yeah, it's very smart. He's other than Billy Joel, he's the only other musician, right, to do that many consecutive concerts at Madison.
Really? Wow, good for him.
Yes.
Such a cutie patootie.
Oh, Tawana, it was a reggae concert. Okay, never mind. So, Black folks and really stoned out white hippie dudes with dreads. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, to that point, I was just in Bend, Oregon to see the Chicks. Nary a Black person in sight in Bend, Oregon. Oregon has the nicest folks. I tell you though, folksy, so nice. But I was scanning the audience looking for a Black person in Oregon, and 2, a Black person at the Chicks concert in Oregon.
Yes.
Not many. I think I counted maybe 3 or 4.
Yes. And was it Black men with their white girlfriends?
No, funny enough, it was girls. Yeah,
really?
Women.
Okay, good. Eric says he has some character flaws. No, you don't. You're perfect. But jealousy is not one of them. I like to see people.
I do too.
Aaron is saying other people's posts help me determine where I want to go next.
Absolutely.
Same here. Although I do find it funny that you can always tell when the waves of, like, this year I feel like everyone went to Spain.
Oh, Spain.
Everyone went to Greece.
Greece and Germany and Switzerland and all of that stuff.
Well, I didn't see Germany and Switzerland at all, but I saw
Yes.
all of the Spain, and I saw all of the Greece, and then
Mark and I are pissed because we were supposed to go to Spain in 2020.
I saw a lot of Capri, island of Capri also.
Yes, Italy was another huge hit this year. It's Capri, island of Capri.
Yes.
Yeah, I know 2 people simultaneously next week that will be in the Germany and or Austria, Switzerland trip.
Really?
Both coworkers, yeah.
The Alps. So, yeah.
And here I sit, no international trips yet.
I know.
I'm jinxed. I've been on 4 trips so far this year and come back sick from every single one of them.
Yeah, Eric's saying lots of Spain and Greece. They're just still to travel again and are going big.
I think so too.
The Alaska thing. A lot of Alaska cruises also.
Yes.
I'm not part of a trend. I saw a ton of my people, like my families that are about my age, on Alaska trips this year, cruises too. So.
And a lot of more what I'm going to call outdoorsy trip, where you're adventurous. You don't just go and lay up in a hotel somewhere. A lot of people wanting very walkable, outdoorsy experience, touristy places. Yeah.
And probably, I think a lot of it is also still places where you can be outside a lot.
Yes.
Maybe like the COVID, whether they planned it that way or not, but maybe the COVID, kind of the hangover from that is, maybe we still don't want to go to a bunch of museums, or maybe we still don't want to be inside with a bunch of people, although a cruise ship, but still, although I feel like on our cruise ship, we were not enclosed most of the time. Like we were either in our room with the balcony open, or we were like on the deck at the top, or we were on like an excursion or something like that.
I know you said enclosed, but in my mind, I went to enclothes most of the time. We were not enclosed most of the time. Really? Well, that's a different trip than what you told me.
Yes, I will tell you, if you were to run around naked on an Alaskan cruise as a man, it would not be the most uh, uh, what would it shrinkage? Let's just put it that way. It was cold there. It was
It's
cold.
cold.
It was
That's
cold.
chilly.
It was shrinkage. Um,
Yeah, Aaron, I'm jealous of your Greece trip. I forget which part you went to, but it didn't matter because it's freaking beautiful what you posted.
yes. Well, most of it. By the end, it was like, um, Greece was perfect. Everything is outside. No indoor dining. I wasn't clothed on the beaches of Greece.
Aaron. Well, you
Yeah,
didn't post anything about that.
Angelo. Yes. Uh,
Wow, wow, wow.
um,
Were these just everybody like that, or did you go to some specific boy beaches?
yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know, Aaron.
Speaking of wieners, they talked about today. Fletcher's announced.
That's an excellent segue.
Fletcher's announced that their corny dogs are going to be available year-round as a permanent food truck at Clyde Warren Park in downtown Dallas.
I'm so excited.
You and I are opposites on this, completely opposite. To me, and I'm going to do I'll do the first, and then you can do a rebuttal. Yep. To me, a Fletcher's corny dog is a special occasion food for the state fair. There's nothing special about it otherwise. It is special to the experience, to the tradition, you go to the fair, and a Fletcher's corny dog is just one of the things that you go have because you can't have it year round. It's sort of like, I don't want to eat pumpkin pie year round, which is why it's so special at Thanksgiving, right? And the fact that it is available year round to me is suddenly like,
Okay. So I normally, especially when it comes to things that are in the fall and the holidays.
It'll probably be cheaper though. There is that at least.
Right. So it'll probably still be $7.50 corn dog. I don't give a shit. I normally would feel nostalgic in that way that you do, except for,
which is a weird turn of events. Normally I have no nostalgia, and you're all about the nostalgia.
So my thing is, I pay to get in the fair. It's upwards of $25, $30 to get into the fair now. I don't do anything at the fair except eat. Yeah. I'm already paying to get in to pay more money to eat things. So I'm excited about Fletcher's because during COVID, I never got to one of the food trucks. You know, they were doing the food trucks around town, and I got excited. And then they did the whole thing with the chicken place, and people said it wasn't good because the oil wasn't consistent, so I didn't even go.
Yeah.
So I've not had a Fletcher's corn dog since I went to the Texas State Fair in 2018 or 19, maybe.
Yes.
So here's the caveat to this, which you don't know because I just did this today and I haven't had a chance to tell you because it's funny you bringing this up. I was thinking to myself, you know, now that Fletcher's going to be at Clyde Warren Park, if they would just get sometime in the fall one of those food trucks with the caramel apples, because I don't know if you know this exists. When I was in the McKinney Town Square last fall,
which I want to go to. It looks adorable.
We need to go. You keep talking about we need to wait till it cools off. We need to go. Well, there's a food truck called Taylor's, and they do these caramel apples, and they were just delicious. And I bought 3 and took them home because every fall, if I don't get to go to the state fair, I at least have to go buy those little shitty happy apples from the grocery. I have to have my caramel apples, right? Yeah. I might not get a corn dog, but god damn it, I'm getting a caramel apple. So anyway, funny, I text Trisha Linderman, who's the executive vice president over at Clyde Warren Park today. I said, congrats on the Fletchers. Hey, wouldn't it be great if one day you could do caramel apples out there too? And I said, that's just me, because I was like, then I'd have no reason to go to the fair. And I said, perhaps during your Halloween celebration, because last year was the first time they had it. I think I told you, me and 7 of my friends went and sat at the corner of the outside of Micasinas, which is brand new at the time. Had the best time with the kids going by, giving them candy, giving them money for candy, throwing candy. It was so great. We're going to do it again this year if you want to go. So I said, hey, that'd be a great thing to have at the Halloween thing this year. And she wrote, do you have a vendor? And I was like, hold please. Called up to McKinney, to the McKinney Main Street, and spoke to the programs coordinator. And I said, hey, random question. Was there last fall, cute little truck with the caramel? Yep, that's Taylor's. Great. Looked him up, text Trish, and was like, Taylor's caramel apples, blah, blah, blah. And here's their information. Got on the website, 2 people named Jerry and Heather, I think. Sent them a little note. Hey, I've thrown your name in the hat for having your truck at Clydeborn Park. So if they reach out to you, make it happen. So I have put the wheels in motion to have caramel apples at Clydeborn Park if the planets align, and you also get your Fletcher's corny dog and fuck the state fair.
I know. Although some people love it. Hannah loves the state fair.
I get it.
It is not my thing at all. I
go to eat and that's it. That's all I go.
I will go on a weeknight and I go just to get the kids to shut the fuck up about going to the fair.
Yeah.
And we will use the all children in Dallas County, at least. I don't know about outside of Dallas County, get a free coupon to go to the fair. So I just have to go and just pay my entrance or whatever.
It's just so expensive. I don't want to pay money to go eat. I'm going to eat.
It ends up being like a $400 event though, because of also then the kids want to play some games. They want to ride the rides. And I'm always I'm like, I'm just going to come from a place of yes. And normally I come from a place of no, but on this one, I'm going to come like, there's no sense in trying to save $100 when I'm already spending $300 or whatever. So let's make it a day.
So the only thing I'll miss is the tater
tornadoes, tater
tornadoes, tater twisters, and then I also get the fried peanut butter and jelly banana sandwich, which is
I don't like peanut butter, but
we'll see. Yeah, you wouldn't care.
The tater tornadoes, though, I love those.
People go and try all the new stuff. I'm like, I'll try it.
I have a spiralizer. I wonder if I could make tater tornadoes in my air fryer.
I think so. Although they are so thin, the flash frying helps with the oil.
Otherwise, they kind of get like, you can do them, though, at a really high temp.
Maybe.
And preheat it and put them in and then get it going.
Juana's friend is showcasing the fried lasagna roll. I've heard about this. Some people will go and eat all the new stuff. I'll go and try a few things. But for me...
Okay, so we did go this last year. I think it was this last year. And they had fried collard greens. Seriously, it was my single favorite thing I've ever had at the state fair ever. Yeah. It was so good because it was fried on the outside. It was kind of like a hand pie. Like it had that kind of consistency on the outside.
Like an empanada.
Yeah, an empanada, exactly. But it was very green because of the collard greens on the inside, and they had a little bit of pork in it. And of course, they had pork fat and all of that. They had a vegetarian, Chef Cassie, yes, exactly. Also, sweetest person ever there. But so the fried collard greens, they are located kind of where the Midway ends, and then it makes that turn to go back towards the Coliseum. It's there.
Most of the good food stuff is along where the live animals are in the Creative Arts Building. Most of its contenders are there.
Yeah. It is. This one is past that. Like you go. It's if you know where like the souvenir shop is for the state fair, where they have like all the different T-shirts and stuff. Yeah. It's kind of like it's that, and then there's like a haunted house, and then that, and then the Cassie's place, right? It was so good. I mean, literally, it may rank on like top 50 things I've ever eaten. So good. Like it was so good.
3 or 4 years ago when they had that Cuban sandwich egg roll, they still have that there. That was dope. That was really,
Aaron saying you can fry baby poo and I tried. I mean, seriously, fried dirt sounds wonderful to me.
So here's my thing. To who just said I go and I eat, I'm out of there. Immediately, I go to there's many Fletcher's mini stands, but I must go to the one by the auto show, the one right by Big Tex. Nothing touches my lips until the Fletcher's corny dog has passed my mouth. That's the first thing. And then I have to get the fried PB&J. Tornado Twisters, if someone shares them, everything I share. But I must get the cold root beer, and I usually get 2 caramel apples, and they wrap them up, and I take them home with me. Somewhere in there, I might have a gyro. I never get meat on a stick or turkey leg or I don't do any of that.
I do.
But the corn over on the Midway, the corn where they put the butter on it and sprinkle the stuff. If I can get over to the Midway, I'll eat the corn, and then I'm out of there, man.
Corn is good. I like the corny dog. I like the tater tornado. I like the corn. The fried collard greens are 100% going to be on the list from now on.
If I go to the Embarcadero building, I'll have a gyro.
See, I don't like eating food in none of the inside
food.
I don't like any of the inside foods, and it's just like being at a dirty ass food court.
Well,
It's
now
like
that banana, there's a banana
like being
pudding
inside a
there. It's really
Wendy's.
good.
It's so gross. But what'd you say?
There's a banana pudding, but it's air conditioned and the bathrooms are really nice. That's where
Yeah.
you go. It's Charmin sponsored bathroom.
Oh, nice.
That's where you go do your fair poo.
I do like a sausage on a stick as well. I
Yes,
am
you do.
completely disgusted by turkey legs. Like I like the idea of them because I actually like smoked turkey meat a lot. Like the
Yeah.
meat on the, I like the taste of them,
But you don't want to mess with it.
this fucking walking around like a caveman with Dino's leg that you're just chowing down
Oh,
on.
Tawana, you do the Jack French fries. Those are good. And the Belgian waffles are kind of over there together. They are over there by Big Tex.
Hannah says she goes on Wednesday. We get there. They're 2 hours just to get our once a year corny dog and funnel cake and then out of there. Yeah. So I'm just.
Hannah, you go to the fair and get cotton candy. Girl, you can get cotton candy anywhere.
My kids
Really?
do that too. My kids get cotton candy
I get it if I have coupons left. I go get the saltwater taffy or get cotton candy and I leave.
What are Jack French fries?
That's why I share things with people because you can combine your coupons at the end. You're like, what are we going to get?
Yeah. What are Jack French fries?
They're just those really good. They're kind of thick. They come in the cone, the white cone.
Oh.
It's just called Jack's, and I forget what kind of fries they call them. Not steak fries, but they're kind of between. They're not as thick as a steak fry, but they're not thin fries. I can't explain them. They're really good.
Okay, I don't know them. Do they have stuff on them or just spices?
I don't think so. Tawana, I don't think they do, right? They're just good French fries.
I just don't get the general appeal of it. And again, the whole place is a gazillion dollars. And I don't some people are like, I love the car show. I love the car show. I'm like,
I don't give a crap about that.
Well, also, I drive a much nicer car than any other ones in there. Like
I only go in there for air conditioning if it's hot. That's when I go in there.
But I don't want to look at some shitty American cars in there. Like, no.
I literally go to eat. So between Clyde and Park, Fletcher's Corny Dogs, and if I get my caramel apple fix, I'm done this year.
I like the root beer.
So good. But you know where you can get that root beer? In the barrel like that? Darriette on Garland Road in East Dallas. Darriette is like Keller's, but even older than Keller's. And they have the frosted mugs, and you can also get a root beer float. Stellar.
Really?
It's the same kind of root beer as the fair.
Yeah. Monica wants to. Keller's is the drive-in, right?
It is, and so is Darriette, but it's much older. It's like a smaller, and you can drive up, and they'll come out if you want, but you can just go inside and sit. They have like 6 little booths and 4 little stools at the counter, and it is the best burger, French fries, root beer float. Really? Oh my God!
So Monica's coming up at the end of September because we're going to the Elton John concert, and then we're going to go to a haunted house Saturday night, and then I think they're going to a Cowboys game or something also. Todd got Cowboys tickets. I'm not going, but hopefully I didn't spoil a surprise just saying that. But sorry, Monica, if I did. But Monica, so she's never been to Aldi, and so I'm like, we're going to Aldi.
They have Aldi down there?
I guess they do, but I don't know. So.
Can I go with y'all when y'all go to Aldi? I want to see her face.
Yes, we'll go to Aldi. We'll have to go to a good Aldi. I mean,
Aldi.
My Aldi is fine, but it's not designed well. My favorite Aldi is the one up off of Northwest Highway, but then there's the one on Garland or on Gaston also.
I've never been to the one on Northwest. I'd be willing to go to that one to see.
Because she also wants to go to Keller's. She wants to go to a drive.
Oh, girl, yeah. So here's the thing. If she's up for 2 burgers, we can do a comparison. Other people are talking, and I love to see the love for Darriette because not a lot of people know about it.
I've never even heard of this place.
Keller's is also a really good burger. Keller's is a smaller burger with a poppy seed bun. Darriette is like a larger egg brioche bun burger, kind of.
Sounds good.
With a patty and the shredded lettuce. Oh my! And the French fries. So the French fries suck at Keller's. I'm sorry, but they suck. The burgers are good, but Darriette. Y'all, it's just a different kind of burger. They're both good. It's just different.
Karen is saying they make their root beer there.
Yes, that's what they're in the barrel. It's in the barrel like at the fair, and they make it there.
And it was Suzanne's daddy's favorite burger joint. I've never heard of this place.
Okay, we'll go.
I've lived here 30 years, and I've lived in Dallas since August of 1993. So 29 years.
Little shit. You know how small Keller's is when you pull up? It's small. Darriette's maybe
I know of it.
Yeah, same size as that. And it's got the little chairs and the booths. You can go inside, but the awning to pull under is probably only 10 cars long. It's small. It's smaller than Keller's.
Interesting.
It's on a little shit strip right there
Yeah.
on Garland Road.
On the topic of burgers, we've started doing, I call them hamburger steaks or whatever, where I just make a hamburger patty and I just grill it a lot on the outside, like in a cast iron skillet, kind of get it real charred. And then we'll have that with like a vegetable or a salad or something, like not bread or anything, just like that. So, and the kid, I saw it in the Defined Dish cookbook. It's one of her go-to meals. I love it. The kids like it. So I went and bought ground beef yesterday, knowing I was going to do that tonight. And I needed 2 pounds of ground beef because when you have teenagers in the house, suddenly you have to start doubling your food intake. So, I don't know what stuff costs, but I'm pretty sure I know what stuff's not supposed to cost. Not supposed to, that's country.
It doesn't usually.
What it does not usually, what it is not supposed to cost. And ground beef was I think I got the 90/10 or something like that. $9.99 a pound. $9.99 a pound. I was like, what? And then I needed 2, and then I saw one that was the package date was the day before. So the $9.99 one was yesterday packaged. That's not the use by, that was the package. And I'm talking straight up just generic Tom Thumb, probably full of cancer, probably full of hormones, probably full of everything. Like this, they were beaten. They were like, there was no free range, grass fed hormone. This is just beef, right? Yeah. And it's a
USDA.
Yeah. And seriously, it's got a clear label with a sticker that says beef, $10 a pound, right? Like that. And so the ones that were dated yesterday were $9.99. There's only one left dated the day before that was packaged. It was $8.49. So between Monday and Tuesday, they raised the price $1.50 a pound.
Crazy.
I was like, what? What? How is that? Like,
I've noticed. I've been trying to pay attention to that, but just like overall, I can't run to Trader Joe's or Aldi now for less than $100.
Oh,
I used to be able to.
Our Sunday Walmart orders have been like $2.50 lately.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, well, that's just what groceries cost. But and now I'm kind of like, man, maybe people are hurting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like pretty intense. I've noticed.
So anyway,
I refuse to do. I know you're big on this, but it works out better for your family because you have the membership and all that. But I have completely refused to do food delivery services probably for the last 3 or 4 months for the very reason of all the fees, and some restaurants charge even more for their product now if it's going to be delivered. So I just drew the line when I logged in. Like Chipotle only started delivering with DoorDash like a year ago. When they first launched, it was $1 delivery. So I kind of got into it. And a couple months ago, I got online to do my bowl order, which now they tell you when you log into the app. By the way, for delivery, the prices of the food, you'll notice the difference. They're slightly higher. So they charge you more already. So to do my burrito bowl, which I add guac, who doesn't? And then I
like guac on mine. I feel like it mutes the taste of everything else.
No, I like it. So I do that. I get a bag of chips with a little side of queso. And now they charge you for the tortilla 30 cents. They used to not do that. Used to say, give me my tortilla with the bowl.
Yeah.
So to have it delivered all in, it was going to be $28 to have that delivered to my house for a Chipotle burrito bowl. I got my fat ass in the car and went and got it and paid $18. I'm not paying $10 with fees and tip and everything.
That was already $18 though? I guess.
Yeah, because that's how much it's gone up.
Well, and also, so I bought Chipotle yesterday, but I got a bowl and a bag of chips. But actually, I think I got the chips free because I think I had a reward or something. Because if you sign up in the app, you get all kinds of free shit. You get free guac, you get free chips, you get all of that kind of stuff. But it was like $12. But I also didn't get. I didn't get
guac is like $3 or $3 plus.
I didn't get guac. I didn't get the queso. I think their queso is kind of
The new one is better.
Yeah.
I like to dip my tortilla in it. I know.
Yeah. Hannah bought a 5-pack of chicken breasts for $16.50 yesterday. And like I said, I don't know what stuff is supposed to cost, but I know that this is not what it's supposed to cost.
Yeah.
Supposed to. God, I didn't realize that I say that word so country.
Fixin' to.
Supposed to. I say supposed to cost.
So country of you. Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Well, I have to consciously say nuclear.
Yeah, because George said it nuclear for so long.
Well, that's how I was raised saying it. I said nuclear.
Really?
Nuclear war. It was nuclear. Like my entire until I heard George W. say it that way and they made fun of him, I did not realize that's not how it was pronounced.
I got it burned into my brain as a kid when that happened.
Yeah, I was. Well, we weren't kids that much. We were already grown-ups, weren't we? Or no? When was George W?
Yeah.
But no, George W. He was governor of Texas while I was in college. And he was running for president out of college.
Just out. So Clinton was still, when I was a senior, that's when the Monica Lewinsky scandal was going on.
Yeah, because Clinton was president. Wasn't he the president in 2000? 88, 92, 96. Yeah, he technically was president in 2000 because in 2000 we had another election. Yes.
Aaron, you did not pay $15 to have a McFlurry delivered to you. That is like
No, he says this. No, he is. Oh no, just kidding. I pushed to confirm. Oh my God,
Aaron.
Although gas is $4 when gas was $4 a gallon.
Yeah, but I'm sure the McDonald's is right by his house. So here's my thing: the people that actually pay delivery services to deliver fast food, or McDonald's or Taco Bell, I'm like, it's only good hot. What are you doing?
Well, and I paid the extra on Uber Eats for the express delivery.
Oh, hell no. I never do that.
I pay the $1.99 extra.
That is a runaround because only once has they ever stopped and dropped somebody else off before.
You don't live far enough because you live where the restaurants are.
Well, it's true. You would be, yeah.
When you live in Oak Cliff and all the restaurants are in Uptown that I'm ordering from, they make multiple stops.
Aaron, sweetie, you come on right on up here to Fitzhugh Avenue, honey, where I'm at. And there's your McDonald's, okay? That's not that far. You come get your McFlurry in the drive-thru like every other good gay boy.
I could walk to a Dairy Queen from my house. I love
I'm jealous. See, Aaron, we don't have Dairy Queen either.
The only saving grace is that Dairy Queen is disgusting. I've never, ever in my life, and there's one around the corner from my mother's house too. They're nasty.
They're gross.
And they have
I've never eaten there. I've only ever gotten ice cream.
Plastic chairs that you slide around on.
And the floor's always got a film.
Yes. Oh, that's one of those where you walk and it goes quick, like.
Can I tell you a real quick funny story about Dairy Queen? And it's kind of, I hope it's funny, but it was funny at the time.
I hope it is too.
This was a new one. My friend Ben and I, we were way out East Texas somewhere, right? And we're like, oh, look at this fancy Dairy Queen, right? This cute little small town. So we go in, and been in one in years. And I actually did eat a burger that day because we were stopping for lunch. And I had a corn dog because there's the counter and a microphone. Okay, when's the last time you saw a microphone? And I ordered a corn dog, and Ben got a hamburger, and he was like, actually, corn dogs. The girl, when I ordered it, she just, the way she did it, she's standing there, and she goes, corn dog, okay. And she leans up, she grabs the mic. It's like something out of a sitcom. She goes, it basically hollers back to the kitchen, and she goes, one corn dog, please. I guess because they have to drop it in the fryer, right? And so Ben's like getting a burger, and he goes, actually, corn dog sounds really good. And he goes, yeah, I'll take a corn dog too. And she goes, oh, okay. Another corn dog. It was just so fun. So for this day, all I have to do is I'm standing there with Ben. I'll go, another corn dog. And we just die laughing because it was like, you could see the fear in her face of like,
it's like, how do I process this?
Oh, God, I need to add another one. And she just grabbed the mic and goes, another corn dog. The funniest shit ever. We don't know why it was so funny. But yeah.
Well, I'm sure she was worried that if she said one corn dog, that they would think it was that one.
Yeah.
If she said two corn dogs, they would make two, so there would be three.
You could tell she was working that out, and she had fear in her eyes, looked at us, she goes, oh, okay.
Well, it also probably means the person in the back was an idiot, so she had to make sure she was extremely deliberate in what she said. That's funny.
It was just so funny. We were like, where the hell are we that there's a microphone in the brand new Dairy Queen?
And was it one of those bendy microphones?
Yes.
Yes.
The whole thing was she pressed it and bent it, so it made that noise like.
Yes.
Another corn dog.
Articulating. What's the word?
Yeah,
whatever.
Mike. Yeah.
When you're
when you're a single parent.
once kids go to bed, you'll use delivery. Yep, I know. Especially when you forgot to pick up wine.
Aaron, I would have got my ass in the car and brought you a whole tub of Brahms ice cream, okay?
Well, Aaron also is a better parent than I am in the sense that he waits until his kids go to bed to start drinking. I trained mine already at his kid's age to pour my wine glasses for me. I'm like, can you get me another glass of wine? Sure. They know not to touch the bottle, the glass to the bottle, because it could get glass shards in the glass, all that kind of stuff. Like, they know. I come from the Auntie Mame school of child rearing. So.
Aaron, I don't think I realized you lived downtown. I remember when you moved in the apartment, I just didn't realize it was that far downtown.
He's kind of in that Clear Fork area, I think. So.
What's Clear Fork?
Oh, you don't know? It's like a fancy part of Fort Worth. I think.
He's in Fort Worth. Oh, I'm thinking downtown Dallas.
No.
Okay.
Aaron is a Tarrant County boy. So.
That's right.
All righty. Well, we have gone long. So, all right. Thank you, Kerrie.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, thank you for sticking with us. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched. Yeah. Thank you so much. I believe I will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's already Thursday. Which means the next day is a day that I can have a drink. Yes.
Are you still drinking on the weekends?
I'm a little bit. I went and bought one of those like juice box sized or chocolate milk sized containers of wine the other day, and one for each night. So I actually do feel significantly better because I'm not drinking. So, alrighty. Well, I will talk to y'all later, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Shit, I say. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye, Kerrie.
Bye, y'all.